Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Kamo here with Beneil Dariush, man. Top 4 lightweight in the UFC. Top 4 fighter in the world on the planet. No pressure there, Beneil. How's it going?
Going well. Recovering and hanging out with the family and all that stuff. It's going well.
For people who don't know, it's a Syrian New Year today, right? Am I correct?
Yeah,
We're
right.
both.
What is it, like 7,000 or 6,000 year or something? It's something crazy.
We share an ethnicity here. We're both Assyrian. If you guys don't know what that is, look it up. Ancient Mesopotamian country. Lots of history on us. So I won't dive into too much of that, but it is our new year. And I haven't got my drink on yet. And I don't drink much, but today should be a good day to have a shot of something, right?
Yeah. Drink
So,
it all, but I don't know. Maybe I'll have some coffee. I'm looking forward to my coffee.
yeah. So there's a lot to catch up on here. I mean, I haven't had John for over a year, and I appreciate you being a friend of the show, and it means a lot that you come on. Right now, you're currently ranked, just to give people some insight here and some context here. Top 4 lightweight fighter on the planet at 155. Very interesting lightweight division. I've done some research on the division. I watch UFC a lot. This is one of the divisions I've been following throughout the years. 170 is another one. 205, I like that. Or light heavy. I like all the divisions. But either way, interesting division here. You had a fight scheduled with Islam. And you ended up getting hurt, I think, 11 days before. Correct me if I'm wrong on all this stuff. He ends up beating Bobby Green convincingly with knocked him out pretty quick, controlled the match, dominated him. He's on a 10-fight win streak. You're on a 7-fight win streak. First and foremost, can I ask you, is this fight going to happen now? I know it didn't happen. You got hurt. You can maybe talk about a little bit what happened with the injury, but is this fight actually going to happen moving forward? Is there a plan now?
That's what I've heard. I don't have anything by word. No one's giving me a word about anything, but I've been told they want me to fight him. I've saw interviews as well where Dana said he wants me to match up with him. So I'm just, waiting to get back into the gym to get ready for him.
Okay, so you had the injury, and then how much time did you have to take off, and when do you plan on getting back? Have you been doing any light training, and what was the injury, and is there any light training going on right now?
I broke my foot, not foot, my leg, the fibula bone, small bone in your leg, and I'm I'm somewhat back to training. Mostly physical therapy, but I'm getting back into training. I haven't started going live yet, which is the thing that's gonna let me know where I'm at if I'm ready to fight, when I'm ready to fight. So I'm hoping to go live either next week or the week after. It just depends on my schedule.
Now, does this give you more, like, now that you saw what he did to Bobby? Obviously, I mean, you're on another level, and I'm not going to get into that. You're on a 7-fight win streak. Bobby came in on short notice and got dominated. Did that give you any more insight on Islam and his fighting style now, or are you still kind of where you were before going into the fight, and you're like, I still got this, I'm still going in with the same game plan? Or did you get any more insight from that victory of Islam?
Not really. It was kind of what we expected. I mean, no disrespect to Bobby, took the fight short notice, and he's not like a wrestling powerhouse. He's not like a jiu-jitsu powerhouse. He can grapple. Don't get me wrong, but he specializes in stand up, and what makes him special in stand up is that he has a unique style. So Islam didn't even engage in the stand up. He took him down as quickly as he could, and he started doing his thing. And Bobby really didn't have an answer for that. And that's all that fight was.
Right. I've been watching fighting for a long time. Okay. I just had Adrian Yanez, up and coming bantamweight guy. We are just talking about fighting styles, lion mentality, and all that stuff. So going into this fight, I'm not going to talk strategy with you because I don't want you to reveal anything, stuff like that. But if this is me, again, I'm just thinking out loud here, so don't mind me. If I know a guy, he's quick to take me down, he's going to take me down, and he's very strong on the ground, right? I just kind of know that's coming. Theoretically, would you be, and again, you don't have to answer, but wouldn't the strategy to have like 200-pound guys or 300-pound guys just laying on you, holding you in that scenario? Because again, I hate to say it's boring. I hate to say that he's predictable, but theoretically, like, I'm going to see it coming. I know this is coming. I know he's going to lay on me. I know he's got good body control on top. You're very slick at jiu-jitsu, and I've seen wrestlers just hold jiu-jitsu guys down. I'm thinking, again, I'm just from that perspective, because I'm a fan of yours, right? like I'm assuming this is going to come. Like, are you obviously you're going to be prepared for it, right? Like, I mean, it goes without
Yeah,
saying.
you have to understand, getting a guy who's way heavier than you trying to hold you down isn't the same thing as a small guy holding you down. The technique's not the same. You're If you focus too much on the intensity of the situation, you miss the little details. Because
Right.
if it was easy to hold people down, everyone would do it. But it's the little things that they do that makes them so good at what they do. Like, for example, the way they grab legs, the way they grab wrists, the way they control the control your neck so you can't posture properly.
Right.
Can't address those. It doesn't matter what the weight is. The guy who's on top of you, this idea that, oh, I need to train with bigger guys. I mean, I already train with bigger guys. One of my training partners is Marvin Vittori. He's one of the top guys in the middleweight division. He's quite big. So it's not the end all be all of fixing your problems. Just getting bigger guys trying to do the same thing. What you need is that technique. If you can recognize the technique, you'll be fine.
Yeah, definitely. It's all because I've grappled a lot throughout the years. I'm no Beneil, I'm no UFC fighter, but I know guys that are on higher class, higher belt levels. They just have that technique and leverage. They could do stuff to you that, if you're not used to that move, it's just leverage and technique. And definitely, but I just thought maybe, just get really pushed by guys with leverage technique with a lot more weight, a lot more strength than him so that it becomes easier. But you're right. It depends on the angles and everything like that. That's everything.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you can bring me all the big guys you want. If they don't know what they're doing, it's actually just quite easy to work with them. It's not too difficult. I prefer I prefer to work with good guys. National champions wrestling, All Americans, things like that. That's when you start training with those guys. That's a different feel. It's more real, and even those guys, they're missing a step because they don't have the proper jujitsu. Islam's jujitsu is quite good, so if you can find somebody who has a good mixture, then you're looking at the right guy. But if not, then you have to make sure you get working with good jiu-jitsu guys and good wrestlers, and then obviously keep your striking nice and sharp. But the other thing is, this kind of mentality is not really how I fight. I'm
Right.
not gonna get stressed out about what he does.
Exactly.
That's
I'm
just not who I am. I'm not gonna sit here and stress out. Oh, he does this. I have to do this. I'm uh, I'm here for blood. It's
exactly.
so I'm. The goal is to get in there and see what happens.
Exactly. You don't want to be reactive. You want to have your own game plan. I totally get that. That's the lion mentality. But I was just talking about him again. I'm seeing a pattern here: 10 fights, 4 decisions, 2 knockouts, 4 of them by submission. Here, I'm just seeing a pattern. I saw it with Khabib. I saw it with guys like even George St. Pierre back in the day: double leg takedown, hold you down, ground and pound. And again, I just and then they have some, and I'm not saying just him, but some of these guys just have that consistent pattern of winning. And it's like, if I just want to see that coming, that's just one thing that if I do get in that position, I'm ready for it if it just happens to happen. So anyway, I just, the predictable guys, I just want them beat because this is me personally. I just get annoyed of it. And I just, let's just know that that's the biggest problem. And if it does come to it, it's a chess move that you're prepared for. And I'm sure you are. You've got a huge scenario of up your arsenal anyway.
Yeah. So been preparing. I was prepared. I'll be prepared again, and I'll deal with it when it comes.
Okay, so we got some. It's such an exciting division. Oliveira Gaethje. That fight's coming up May 7th on an exciting card. Chandler and Ferguson. Obviously, you beat Ferguson here. I just want to get some predictions here. Gaethje Oliveira. I just want to know your thoughts on this fight. If can you predict a winner? Are you allowed to do that now or no?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be. It depends on which guys show up. If Gagey shows up, uses a lot of fakes, angles, moves around, I think he can find the knockout. But if he shows up and tries to go into a firefight with Charles Oliveira, I think he gets taken down and submitted. So it's going to depend on Justin. Justin has to be sharp. Justin has to be focused. Justin can't be Justin can't be fighting just to be fighting, just to show people how tough he is. Because we already know he's tough. He's very tough, but he needs to show his intelligence in this fight. Um, as far as Tony and Chandler goes, I think it has more to do with which Chandler shows up.
Yeah.
Chandler is been going towards the showman mentality, and it's been getting him a lot of fans. He went crazy against Justin, and it was a great fight. Um, he had a great fight with Charles as well, but he fell short in those two fights. If he fights a little bit smarter and not focuses so much on the fans, he should have the tools to win this fight. If not, I think Tony can give him a really hard time.
Right. Let me ask you this. I was just having some fun here with I had Adrian Yanez on the show. We were talking about I just wanted a general question here. People like to hear general stuff. Take your division out of it. Who is the most dominant and the toughest champion right now in the UFC? Is it, if you don't mind answering that? I'm thinking Israel Adesanya because it's just so hard to beat. He's a tough puzzle. Then you've got like Usman on top. Who do you think is going to hold it the longest and one of the toughest and hardest to beat at the top of their weight class, taking your division out of it?
I think Usman, without a doubt, is the most dominant. Israel had a very close fight with Whitaker. Even he won. Clearly, he won, but he had a very tough fight with Whitaker. You got. I think people sleep on Volkanovski. He's very good. He Brian Ortega is a great fighter, and he
Right.
beat Brian very clearly. He was in trouble for maybe a few seconds of the fight, but he beat a really tough guy. So I think people are sleeping on him, and got to start showing some respect to that guy. And I understand his fight with Max Holloway wasn't the best, but man, don't sleep on this guy. He's not somebody you could just ignore.
There's a lot to follow for sure. I'm just curious. I had him on this show about a year ago. Have you been following the light heavyweight division? Do you know have you followed Jamal Hill? He's top
Yeah,
10.
of course.
Yes. What do you think of him, man? I think he's an up and comer. I think I mean, Teixeira's been around a while, right? And this young blood's coming up. Do you think Jamal Hill makes a rise?
Depends on his grappling. I'm pretty sure he got submitted recently.
Yes. Yeah.
So it depends on his grappling, how much time he's willing to put focus on it. It seems he's very talented in striking, a lot of power, natural power that a lot of people don't have. Is he willing to put the time in to figure out the timing of the sprawl? Is he willing to put the time in to figure out how to get back up? Is he willing to put the time in to be able to sweep or do jujitsu if necessary and to survive around or whatever? These are things that don't just come over at night. These are things you have to put a lot of time and a lot of blood and sweat. So is he willing to do that stuff? And if he is, he has great opportunities to be a star in the UFC.
Definitely. I know I've been all business here. Well, I just want to talk a little bit, a little more personal family stuff. Before we end this. So how does this play out now theoretically? Like, you're gonna potentially fight Islam, and then the winner of you guys, which I think is going to be you, is going to fight potentially the winner of Oliveira Gaethje. Is that how it could play out here?
That's what it's looking like. Um, we'll see. We'll see what happens. The tricky part is always Connor and the UFC,
Right.
their relationship. So you never know. They might want to do a money fight and put Connor in there against one of those guys. So we'll see. I mean, hopefully we can get this fight going sooner than later, and leave no doubts in anybody's mind.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, just real personal question here. You have a daughter now. Congratulations. I just want to congratulate you. I've got a 5-year-old. How has father life been?
It's good, man. It's good. Father life is great. I'm for some reason, I don't know why, but the last 3 months I've become the favorite, and uh, it's it's awesome. Every time she sees me, she's like, "Okay, take me," and just it's little things that just make you happy. I just want more of this.
No, it's amazing. And you have a daughter, and it's like they're your whole world. It's pretty remarkable. And they get older, and then they take the remote control and they start bossing you around. Then it gets a little more interesting. Wait till 4 or 5.
Yeah, I'm
It's gonna
looking
be
forward
fun.
to it too. That'll be an interesting stage.
You'll definitely have a new boss in the house for sure. But has this? I'm
Really
curious for me.
wife on that one.
Oh yeah, they're
I
gonna
have to
be
deal with
bad.
the wife. Two crazy people fighting each other. It'll be fun.
Absolutely. I get that all the time. But I got to ask you, for me, with my brand and building it, like when I have children, it's kind of ignited me to, it's kind of a motivator for me. I know you've always been on fire, right? Like there's always been like the lion heart and the motivation, all that. But does this ignite more of a fire for you? Like, some people might say, oh, well, no, now he's a family man. Maybe he's lost his edge, or has this more ignited you and said, now I've got more to, someone else that's going to cheer me on. It's going to drive more fuel in my fire. How does it play out for you mentally at all, if it does at all?
So this last camp, I think this last camp was the hardest I've ever trained. I can't. It wasn't even close to any other camp as far as how hard I was training. And to be honest with you, it was easier to wake up in the mornings. I'd wake up, I'd see her, I'd get up, and I'd walk out and get to practice. The only thing that was harder for me was leaving the room because I want to see my daughter. I want to spend more time with her. But besides that, it was actually a lot easier to train harder this camp. So I guess there is an extra motivation there that I don't even notice. I just noticed that I had an easier time waking up to do what I already love.
Nice, nice. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a motivation for me, and I'm sure it's gonna be a motivation for you as well. I'm excited, man. By the way, I didn't tell you this. I was a fan before this, just to let you know. But I am a Beneil shareholder here. I've
Oh,
got your, I've got your card. So this one here, I'm gonna let it zoom in. This is your silver prism. This is like the cream of the crop. A card. It's a silver prism, right? And I haven't got these graded yet, but I'm considering it soon. This is actually the Ferguson ankle lock there. It was an instant. This isn't worth much. They don't have too much value, these instants. But this is your blue one. Do you have any of these cards, by the way?
my wife has them all. I think I don't have any, but my wife does. And when I say my wife does, I mean it. Like I'm not allowed to touch anything.
So this is out of 199. So this is a rare one. And this one, there's only 99 made. So there's only 9. So when you become UFC champ, I'm literally going to sell this. And my future, no pressure, is I'm going to buy multiple houses once I sell this off, once you're the champion.
Yeah.
Or I might keep it anyway.
Hopefully it works out for you. If not, I'm sorry, brother.
No, it has to work out. Oh man. Anyway, if you need any help, motivation, I'm here for you too. Lion mentality, because that's what I preach to my fans, man. It's all about lion mentality. But who am I to teach you? Maybe you could teach me some stuff for sure.
I don't know, man. For as far as fighting goes, as far as this stuff goes, fighting's always been the easiest thing in my life. It's
Yeah.
Being kind is hard. Being a husband is hard. Being a father is hard. But fighting is my first nature. So I never really had to put too much thought into it. I just knew there's gonna be someone in front of me that I have to get rid of. I have to kill it. So it was
Yeah.
never get ready for that. If I didn't need extra motivation, but I mean now I have even extra motivation. But to as terrible as it sounds, but to kill was always first nature.
One more thing here. So for me, like I've always been kind of the underdog too in my brand to compete with some of these big networks. I've built my brand on my own, millions of podcast downloads over the years. I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying that I literally came from absolutely nothing. And for you, you're not really a social media guy. You got big names like Connor in your division, that get that clout, that popularity, this and that. Does this fuel you at all to say, well, I'm just going to prove it with is there something in the back of your head that says, okay, well, I'm not the media guy really, but does this drive you a little bit more to say, I'm going to prove it with my fist to get there? Is that an extra driver for you to say, well, I'm not the showman per se, but I've got the biggest heart? Is that something in your mind at all?
No, I came for blood, and I'm pretty much just looking for blood. I mean, it's really that simple. It sounds terrible, but that's just my nature. I never really cared about the attention. I just wanted to beat up the best guys in the world. I take pleasure in winning. I take pleasure in hard work, and I don't need somebody. I don't need the fans to acknowledge that. If they do, great. But if they don't, that's fine too. I just need someone in front of me in the cage so I can do what I do.
Well, that's why I like having you on, because I don't know if you know much about fantasy football and the NFL, but the thing is with this, like I like those players that put their head down and work, that aren't, there's guys like in the NFL that are just doing TikToks and dancing. I'm just like, and I've seen their production go down. They do modeling, and it's okay to model and brand and get those marketing deals. That's fine, but they go over the top with their marketing and their branding, and I just feel like, their TikToks and their dances and their dance. I just feel that some of those guys, the majority of those guys, have a fall off with their stats when it comes to NFL football, and I just find that the hungry guys always tend to do better. And I'm hoping that works for you as well, and I believe that it will. Passion really prevails, and focus. Like the old saying, focus goes, energy flows. And I think you've got the most focused, and I'm excited. I think the biggest heart wins between this match and Islam, and I genuinely believe you have the biggest heart, and I wish you the best for that too.
Thanks, brother. I think TikTok is for communists anyway, so it's
Fair enough.
it's all good. You won't be catching me on TikTok anytime soon. So, yeah.
Perfect. No, I appreciate you coming on, Beneil. Thank you as always. And I'd like to get you on here. I want to, get you on when you become champion as well. Don't forget the little guys.
I'll be here, brother. You know it.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
My pleasure, brother. You take care.
Thanks.